Sheep. Oh, yeah! Oh my god! Spider hisses. And that's not the only thing. Interestingly enough, it seems like the subtitles actually are directional. I've never enabled them before. But right now, I can't keep my eyes off the neighbor's house who moved in across the street. Hello everyone, and welcome back once again to Minecraft with the broken script mod. And creepily enough, it seems my own footsteps will trigger those subtitles. A lot happened last time, a lot, and we found out that this is more than just something embedded within the code, seemingly trying to emulate a player. It actually seems to be an echo of players in the past. Not even the too distant past, which is why it's sort of strange that this seemingly is forcing my world to emulate the beta. Oh, you are attacking me. Okay, so maybe what was happening isn't happening now. You guys had pointed out that it seems like the worlds that we teleport to, the back rooms, and by extension the drains, they actually seem to use the same seed as our world, saying that the intrusion that happened before, where we saw lights in the sky, like the clouds had become buildings almost, that was a real heart-stopping, biblical I stood on the sands moment. I was equal parts relieved and disappointed when it all disappeared before I could climb up and see just what it was. But as some of you guys pointed out, if those other worlds are seemingly mapping onto the same seed, it's almost like an overlap occurred. Like things that exist spatially in the same place as far as the game is concerned were trying to fight each other for that space in that moment. I've got to stop coming out here. Did I just see something up there? I thought I did, but maybe I'm just paranoid. I'm seeing figures in my own window. Now, when we invoked the name Ram to Die, I actually went back. I'll have showed it at the beginning and slowed down that footage because you guys pointed out that it actually spoke in like the couple of frames that it was on screen. Rot in hell. But I also noticed something else. That player had a skin. It at first appeared in all black, just like the figure we saw in the caves, but there was something there. Unfortunately, it wasn't facing us. Your guys' comments have been the driving force here in deciding what to do. Remember, this is the culmination of like 18 hours of gameplay, so it is a very slow burn. And what you pointed out is that when I came through and saw those things in the sky, everything, the way it was behaving, not being able to pass through certain blocks, things disappearing when I tried to interact with them, it wasn't just like glitches, it was like server desync. And well, our single-player world has been acting like multiplayer all this time. I think I've been going about this the wrong way. I think I've been spending so much time being scientific and trying to make things happen, and we can still do that. But I think what has to happen now is I need to go back to playing like normal. I need to mine, I need to craft, I need to build. And I need to try as hard as I can to not look at the bugs. That said, there is still one way I really want to look at the bugs, so hang on. I'm gonna go over to the once again backed up new world that we found in the game files. Here we are. It seems like I don't even need to replace it right away. This is working fine. You guys suggested that there may actually be something in the caves beneath the cross. So we're going to do a little bit of spelunking. Before we can do that, we're going to have to make ourselves some tools here. Move right on into their world. Now I wonder if what we're doing right now would be seen as an intrusion, or if they would be overjoyed that someone's playing on their world. I've gone ahead and re-enabled the music because I want this to feel as vanilla as possible. But there's something else I've noticed, and something you guys pointed out as well. I had that really creepy after-the-fact moment, and this was great about From the Fog, too, is when you guys point out things I didn't even notice. Some of the sounds that we hear, even some of the music, it's not vanilla. It sounds like vanilla, but it's off. It's just a little bit different, sometimes, alongside the vanilla stuff. And when I looked at the comments for the first video, and one of you simply pointed out a timestamp in all caps and said, "That's not a normal cave sound," that was super creepy to me. Now, the good news is, in this chunk error, we kind of have everything we need. There's even diamonds. I end up talking about this game all the time, but how can you not in a creepy and comfy context? The soundtrack that's playing right now always reminded me quite a lot of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, the PC version, which was different from the PS1 version. Let's grab those. And this part, for some reason, I'm talking about nonsense now, but this sort of reminds me of the Jimmy Neutron PC game. Anyway, first things we're gonna need is coal. Huh. You'd never even know that Beyond the Fog is the end of the void. They don't seem to have ever explored this cave. Okay, that wasn't ghosts, that was just gravel. Oh great, no, we have no weapons. There you go. Well, thanks for the effort, but joke's on you. I never turned my draw distance back up. Even in this place, there's such a thing as cobbled deep slate in spite of itself. Wow, the fog really does obscure just how deep this thing really goes. But I do remember seeing some exposed diamond down here. There it is. Look at that. The adminium is actually not... It's not uniform in its destruction. Like, it's a perfect cleave down here with the stairs, but it's imperfect down here. Oh, and while I'm building down here, working to close off as much of this pit as possible, so I don't fall and lose all my stuff, there's something really important that you guys pointed out, and it makes a lot of sense. Ram to Die, the one we invoked, the one who appeared incredibly angry at having their name used, and who apparently changed their name from Null. At least that's my guess. One of the creatures, the silhouetted one that was waiting by the water on that first night, it was named R2 in the death screen. R2, Ram to Die? Anyway, we've got ourselves some diamonds. At last I found me some diamonds. There was something waiting for me! Rot in Hell, Integrity. You set this here as bait. Okay, we're gonna... That's another name we're gonna have to try and invoke later. Now, of course, I have backups of this world and the other. You only get 2 diamonds, though, so we can't do much with it. Glad we looked for it, though. Oh, there's some more right there. Let's begin tunneling through. Feels quite unsafe. Another one. Avoid him at all cost. Avoid who? Hey, look at that. There's stairs just floating in this pit here. One of the things that's cool about this mod, and I guess this world, it's not just overtly scary things. I mean, there's plenty of things that make you question just what's going on and how safe you really are in these worlds, how alone you are. But then there's things like this that are just strange. The kind of thing where, I mean, if I weren't analyzing everything for a recording, I wouldn't even pay a second thought to, because it's common to see blocks just misplaced and weirdly aligned in Minecraft. It's just part of playing the game, but okay. I don't want to be anywhere near this. I just jumped over your arrow, that's hilarious. We're gonna make ourselves some armor. Let's go see what's down in the cave beneath the cross. We've got some torches now. We've got plenty of wood, so we can make more. And I imagine the supply of coal in the cave will carry us through. Use some more iron. A bucket with water could make this easier. Water, it's nature's elevator. For some reason. Under the bedrock, he hides no more. There's nothing immediately under this cross. But I wonder if maybe whatever it's referring to is way under. Like maybe even deeper than we can go. It would only make sense, this world serving as their epitaph, their cathedral as they put it, for it to also serve as their gravestone. Can we grab some of that? There we go. You can't hide the existence of cobbled deep slate from me. Or in this instance, it's just deep slate, but whatever. What the... And the game crashed. I never did use config on this world. The game crashed, ticking entity. But we're still blind. Blindness 2 for the next 17 seconds. Hang on. Let's make it... Well, actually, no... This stuff is already on. No VHS, no banning, no crashes. Let's put it that way. It feels like even the config is part of all of this. Like nothing happens that it doesn't want. Go. Because it keeps defaulting to easy, I think you guys might also have less health, because I've noticed I'm having a much easier time killing you lately. This is all so wide open. Ow. Just put this where we can. Watching all of these things tick away. As one of you put it, almost as if out of spite for newer blocks existing. And this stuff shouldn't even be here in the first place. If this was created in an older world, it shouldn't be turning these into deep slate, should it? I've actually never tried that. Well, here's where we can go deeper. And look, there's a little cave hiding behind the lava fall. There's always something behind the waterfall in games. I've never heard of something behind the lava fall. Let's go see what it is. Caves, oddly enough. You know, I would even go as far as to say these are not beta caves. I mean, this world is definitely pre-caves and cliffs, so this doesn't really make a lot of sense in any direction. Goodbye. Some more diamond. Changing to peaceful used to work. It used to work to at least restore what I was missing! It removed like a chunk around me. Look at this. Okay, this is new territory, and it did it right as I was about to grab some diamonds. It seems like less than a coincidence. Haha, I'm still gonna get some diamonds. Screw you, null. Or ram to die, or circuit, or integrity. Look, this is where I was trying to get through. A forced chunk error. And there's you, right on cue. I don't think so. Absolutely not right now. I mean, we're in a cave, so that kind of helps me, but whatever. Can't help but notice that that sound has no subtitle. Ram to die, I hope you don't mind if I use your room. Okay, hang on. Hang on. This is potentially important. This is potentially very important. First of all, I need to get rid of all of these things. They do stack, thankfully. So let's just get rid of it like so. They actually just kind of conveniently go like that. Let's toss you on out of here. I need to bank all of my stuff and place it with you. Yes, trust it to the entity that's seemingly haunting and corrupting our game. Hello. It's transparent, so I can hardly see it inside the thing. What does that mean? Hang on, I'm gonna take screenshots. I'm gonna start taking screenshots of significant things for a reference later. 000. And then these pillars beneath. I mean, it could be ASCII art. It could be an image rather than text. Even the furnace products have turned into these null entities. But look, some of you guys pointed out, and I will need my iron pickaxe for this. Some of you guys pointed something out regarding the nether portal in this base. You guys said that these biomes should not have existed at the time, not until the year after the latest time the server was active, which is September 2019. The only thing that's seemingly been done in this world is this netherrack bridge stretching forth from the portal. But like some of the bridges in the overworld, it just leads to nothing. Maybe we can cleave through. Doesn't seem like there's anything much to see. Well look, if this biome didn't exist, maybe these blocks didn't exist either. I wonder if you'll react at all to basalt in your world? Me building on your stuff. Doesn't seem to. That's weird. This one is glowing. And I had thought that maybe it was a result of the interaction with the redstone torches, but that doesn't seem to be the case. It's different from the ones in the corners. Now I wonder, with a diamond pickaxe, is it possible to break this? Okay, that's like a minute straight with a diamond pickaxe, and I have come to the regrettable conclusion that no, it's not. But I'll tell you this, I do have another idea. Now, here's what I'm wondering about. And that's going to be whether or not it's a good idea to try saying hello in our own world. Why don't we do it over at your house, you know, since you're the host and all? Let's climb on up over here. 3, 4, 5. A lot of meanness down there. How about that? We place that down, now no telling what it does. Really, things seem to be locked in this world. That's the problem. It's a world in stasis. First we had the eternal day, now the eternal night. I think that's all we do. We just keep playing until something decides it's finally time to move. Change the draw distance on me. I didn't even realize it, but it did. It can happen here too. And we're back. Can't even make it to the end of my own place anymore. Alright. Oh, this is getting done. Let's try again. Oh my! Okay, I kept silent during that because that seems like, first of all, it's a fake blue screen. Although if we hadn't changed the config, maybe it would actually crash us. Maybe it's possible to reverse that? That definitely sounded like speech. It was Commodore 64 speech, but it was speech.
Your PC ran into a problem and needs to restart as soon as we're finished collecting some error info.
Let's go through here. Alright, now we're where we want to be. The Nulltato program is not ceasing anytime soon. Not if I have anything to say about it. Some of you guys have actually said that you encountered different things here than I have. I've even heard one of you say that there's supposed to be null creatures, things which behave like players, sort of like we've seen in the drains down in these caves. And yet I saw no such thing. Boop, 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 boop. Null potatoes, everybody. Just what we need. Now, while we're here, we may as well have a closer look. Get some samples. We've got torches up to here, but that's about all there is. I suppose we could keep trying to go even deeper, as if that wasn't always the goal of Minecraft. Seems almost foolish to try and behave this way in a world like this, but... well, why don't we try setting up shop? I mean, something more permanent. Not that there's anything... that's the thing, you can't be permanent when you can be teleported at any moment against your will. Like something notices you're here and decides it's time for you to be gone. But we can still try. Oh, come on, man. How can you deny the comfort of this? Sure, it looks kind of like a prison cell, but a nice prison cell? You decide. Let's just put a little door on it. And see? Even in spite of everything, we're just playing Minecraft. This is what you wanted, right? A new structure in a place that likely hasn't seen one in a very, very long time. What I could potentially do is take one single torch, descend to the lowest possible point, and just use that to keep lighting my way. Not saying it's what I want to do, but it's something which may work. The reason I'm so desperate to grow trees here is because they can be used as charcoal, thereby creating infinite torches. But I know we can follow the system itself much lower. In fact, let's do our old trick of, let's not lower the render distance all the way, let's lower it to 6. That way we can see, but not limiting our visibility too much. It's doing it again. That thing where it plays stock Minecraft music over this null music. Look at that. Didn't really know this could happen. There's actual ores here. I must say, it's very restrictive. Very restrictive. But it seems like it will only give us those ores. Yep. Random teleport. This time we can get ourselves out. This random teleport is very deep. Oh no. Or not super deep. Negative 37. We can get out. Before this killed us, now we might have a chance. Then again, whether or not we can get out will depend on just how much is above us, right? I mean, negative 37 just means 37 below sea level. I'm starting to hear all kinds of badness. God, just how... this pickaxe is not going to hold out very much longer. How freaking deep did it put me? I'm above sea level now. Could always be in a mountain. Well, there's something. And remember, the fog trick isn't going to help us here because eternal night. This is all we've got. I don't even have a weapon. There's some glow lichen, which I don't believe I can take with me. But wait, no, that looks like... That looks... Oh! Sort of like moonlight, I wanted to say. There's no way out of this. Hang on. Peaceful. I wish it would start healing me like that again. I'll pick it up. I am currently 11 ASL. It just keeps putting me in all these situations that I can't possibly prepare for. And it wastes so much time. Like, I would have been better off dying there. Eerie noise, at least the game acknowledged this one. Here's the other problem. Now that we have no pickaxe, it's not gonna give us any materials to stack up anymore. Which means we're gonna have to start stair tunneling up, which is gonna be even more time consuming. Maybe the thing that hides under bedrock no more is the entity that allowed this null to freeze everything in this state. Maybe that's the rite of passage. Maybe I have to prove myself worthy by climbing out from beneath the earth and rising just as it did. Except it's put on the training wheels and I don't have to come up from bedrock. I do, however, have to claw my way until my fingernails are dragging against the stone. So it said footsteps. I sure didn't make them. You hear that? That sounds like cows grazing! Which is just as well because I've just run out of stuff. We're close. We've got to be close to dirt. Just a little bit higher. Come on, yes. Yes, that's what we need. Let's get some dirt down in the hole. Then I can start stacking again instead of stair tunneling. Come on. Never thought I'd be so happy to see that moon. Hey there! We actually didn't have that much farther to come up. Okay, so 0 is not sea level. Not by a long shot. That's what we learned. What is sea level? Apparently 63. So we crawled up like, what, 80, 90 blocks? But we made it. And we got some iron from the back rooms. Does it matter? Not really. Hey, this is the second time I've actually seen the end. But no, it seems like if you're not perfectly efficient in executing that run, it will not let you reach there. How's our growing going? I just want to see how well this is all gonna work. Can we actually grow a tree here? We can. Fill up here with some dead-looking leaves. But we can. Now, we'll want to make a furnace here. That's right. And start creating coal. Look at that. We've got our first null apple. This feels like that time in From the Fog. That was a weird sound. This feels like that time in From the Fog when I built that grass village inside the Nether. Only somehow even more wrong. From this we can make ourselves a dozen torches. And I do believe that's all we need to get ourselves going. We can spend a fair amount of time here, and I have got lots and lots of pick durability. Right here is probably going to be the easiest place to make camp, and I think the easiest way to do this is just going to be to go down as much as possible. Bedrock. Bedrock down at -60. It goes actually, And that's interesting. We can't manipulate this, but it goes even a bit deeper. Not too much deeper, though. There's a bit more scatter than on a regular world. Down here at -63. Right as I build a house and everything, I guess that's pretty much all there is to learn from this place. Look at this generation. That seems intentional, like real cave structures, just made out of this processed stone. I don't know if we've seen that before. Here's what I'm thinking. Every time we were teleported away from the back rooms, we've fallen. A couple of times we've been at ground level. Every time we've been teleported from here, it's been embedded in the earth. Maybe there really was something to what you said about these seeds mapping onto each other. Maybe when we return, it's just at the same level. If that's the case, returning right now would mean that we would be pretty close to surface. If we go right here, 64, sea level. Oh, here we are, okay. We are proving my theories true by the moment. It really is directly parallel, but it's not like the Nether where it's approximate, where the scale is condensed. As you guys have said, it is literally the world seed. There's something new over there. Hang on. Let's put away our diamond things for now. It's like the exterior of a dungeon, but above ground. Let's probe the exterior before attempting to make entry. Redstone. But redstone for what? Would it be wise to try to dismantle this thing? Now, look. You guys have let me know, even after the first part, that there is actually a reputation system. And it makes sense. We don't want to be griefed here, but neither does Null. And Null does not like it when you destroy their things. So, on the one hand, maybe we should keep it this way. We've actually managed to avoid a lot of the wrath that this is capable of throwing at us, simply by watching and observing. But if we wanted, we could maybe try to provoke it. Feels like a betrayal after it gave me those diamonds. I don't know if that'll do anything. If it needs to be the complete destruction of a structure, trying to ignore that it's here. Or if even messing with it at all is enough to earn its wrath. You know, it's been a while since I had a look in my basement. Anything here? There certainly is. Good. You explode over there. I swear, you come down here and you just choke on the dust. Every once in a while, I'll just watch everything disappear from in front of me. All hostile mobs seemingly just gone. Nope, nope, there they are again. There's a creeper hiding in the grass. It's like every once in a while, they'll just flush and I'll reset. There we go. I just had an idea. Look at all these rail tracks just sitting here, huh? I bet I could put them to some kind of use. Okay, so what we're gonna start doing is placing things down so that go right here. Here, and immediately you would hit the ground running with a powered rail. And that's all of that. Well, that doesn't feel like it was a tremendous amount at all. Once we get here, there's still about 900 blocks to travel, but you know what? It gives us something of a head start, I guess. Hey, one of these things is back. Haven't seen those in a while. You know what? This is actually the first time we've seen one. Oh, these are new, by the way. That's a new pit. This is the first time we've seen one while we actually had something to throw at it. Hey, look at that. I think it just killed a creeper. If I don't get their attention and steer it back this way, I can get it to take out that other one too. There we are. Now, can we hurt you? It does not seem so. In fact, our arrows seem to pass right through. Next question, then. Yes, we can collect the arrows we fire. So it's not just not doing damage, it's not hitting them at all. Stay right here, stay right here, stay right here and die. This thing may actually be a bit of a blessing in disguise. As long as this thing is around, I don't really want to spend a ton of time here, because you'll start doing stuff like this, which is why I want to steer you more in this direction. Come on. If we can't kill it, then what are we supposed to do about it? We can't control when it spawns. We can't control how many spawn. We can only vaguely control its path. It's not even chasing me anymore. It's just... I think if I have a major problem with this mod so far, is that it wants to be a slow burn, but it does too much in the way of griefing for you to play normally and just wait for things to happen. I mean, look at right now. We're in an eternal night. We can't play normally. So, come in here, run immediately next door. There's a real... I don't have iron for a cart that goes all the way. And in fact, I'm not even sure if this is any faster. But at least we can enjoy it for a moment. I mean, believe me, I would love to do something other than run down this same corridor for hours and hours every episode, but I really don't know what else to try. We are within 100 blocks, but we're gonna get teleported any second now. This one may actually be going further than the adjacent tunnel. Because according to this, we should have made it past by now. Yeah, I think this one is longer than the one we start in. What that means for us, I'm not quite sure. We are now 300 blocks past where this should have ended based on past experience. And we have not been teleported out yet. I mean, we've seen gaps in the drains, but they truly aren't created equally. 600 blocks past the edge. Who knows what's even gonna happen now? We are now 1,000 blocks past where the other one ended. And there's no end in sight. I'd kinda come to rely on that auto-teleport, and now that it just isn't happening, it's putting me in a real situation. I mean, I guess it's a good thing we can't sleep here, right? And at 1,700 blocks farther than we've ever been, I've got to wonder if this does have an end, if it has to. At a certain point, we could just try summoning that name we heard earlier. I mean, but by the time this ends, we have to. 2,000 blocks beyond. This feels like the end of the abyss with Ed Harris, and I'm the Ed Harris. Only we don't have a goal here. It's just, there we go. More than 2,000 blocks beyond, and immediately skeleton rattles. Immediately skeleton rattles. Tell you what I'm not seeing. is any sign that the night is ending. I'm seeing Enderman evidence. After backing up again, let's see what we can see. Deep down under the bedrock, Null told us that. So this integrity, that's what you warned of. Down in the chunk error. Maybe that chunk error was you emerging onto their world. And maybe you established some kind of connection with Null. That is huge. Only thing is I don't, as usual, know how to do anything with that. Integrity, like integrity of game cache, maybe? The integrity of the game files? Things missing, gaps in that integrity causing glitches and exploits? I mean, we act like it's referring to an entity, could just as easily be referring to the game. One thing that's interesting is I had always thought that potatoes, and really all plants, needed certain light levels to grow. But both here and in the other worlds, it doesn't seem like it really does. One thing that I wanted to try was to go back to the Nether, so I realized in editing that our start position is actually potentially above where we ended up before. Hey, look at that! The Eternal Night just ended! Wasn't so eternal after all. But we're still gonna go play Doom in the Nether. Because being able to get back to that village would be nice, if only for the mining opportunities, which we now have a reason to take. Alright, you're here at 65. I don't remember, were we up at 100 or down at 40? Given the proximity of lava, I'm gonna say up at 100. Up here, perhaps? And I don't want to hear from any use guys, but you know what? I do think that this is precisely where we need to be. Because there is one of our torches, yes. Ooh, we just got ourselves a guest here. This is the way back. You'll do it even in the Nether. And once more, not always with a sound. Down there is a Nether fortress. Okay, yeah, I know where I am now. Hey, skeleton. Look at me, following my own very limited torches back this way. You know what? I don't need to go to the village right now. But this is some incredibly lucky world gen. Our teleports, like, it seems like the whole distance between me and the village is just Nether fortresses. Sun is rising. I can see monsters up on the hill. But with the exception of the local creepers, let's wait for the moon to set and watch them burn. Hang on, do you see that over there? I just made the advancement go away. Go away, wait, I'd never even thought to check the advancements. Here I am. Can you see me? This place is not for you. Oh, so that's just another communication that you didn't put in the chat. Now I'm wondering, is it actually moving? And the answer is no. No, it's not. You see it, don't you? Right over there, beneath the tree. It appears like it's moving, but I think we're locked right here at a perpetual twilight. Okay, I thought it was a field of these redstone torches, but it's not. It's just two holes to the abyss side by side. We're gonna see if you can take damage. Shadow under the tree. It seems to stop right at you. Or sail right through you. Well, yes, I can see you. But this time you didn't kill me. God, that sun looks so big behind those trees, doesn't it? Almost seems too big. Like, how large do these things usually appear in the sky? It's just moving incredibly slowly and at bizarre scale. Oh, by the way, I wanted to address something. So some of you guys talked about how, like, how do you not see the glowing figure on top of this building? Listen, I did see it. But the white pixel on top of this building kind of had less relevance than the demonic shadows chasing me through the night in that moment. It's like being stuck in a tumble dryer with Satan, and you guys being like, how did you not notice it was Ed Gein's overalls you were with? The thing about these structures that are spawned looking so normal is that they do range from, like, a player house, maybe even a shared one, to just random nonsense that some 4-year-old just placed all over. In other words, it's kind of like it's pulling from other people's worlds. Not even necessarily that Null is the one building, but rather that it's all kinds of places colliding. Little fragments being mixed together. Ow! Don't just do that to me. I was just about to talk about how, regardless of what's going on with the sun, it does seem like it's enough to prevent hostile mobs from spawning. We had a couple of creepers linger, but once they disappeared, it seems to have been it. The music continually acting like all is normal. But look, every time we see one of these that hasn't been patched, we know that it wasn't there before. Now obviously I'm cutting a lot for this, so I kind of want to put into perspective just what it's like trying to play this. The Eternal Day, I'm not sure how long that lasted. The Eternal Night, all told, about 10 hours. So who knows what's going to happen with this. Let's see where the clock lies. Right there in the middle, right before day becomes night. You know, in the dark, that cross sort of looks like a player standing on top of the hut, doesn't it? I guess it's just my luck that we'll seemingly never have normal time again. But with things all being backed up, maybe we try asking for circuit? It was all his fault. We're learning from you, but only if we ask the right questions or recall the same name. Null, ram to die. You hate being addressed yourself, but you love to tell the story as if you're not part of it. Hey, look at that. There's a... I was gonna say there's a pillager standing up there. That was not a pillager. Or at least I don't think it was. In any case, it vanished as I approached. Did I cut down that tree? I'm not sure I did. Pigs in the moonlight. there's nothing in there. There's no bark. It shouldn't be maintaining its position like this. Yes. Is there a follow-up? It does seem like maybe we're getting events again. It's just that our days are locked in place. Okay. I think I'm just going to start building again. I'm just going to start building and pretending nothing's the matter. Because we're no longer awash in mobs. Null the Redeemer over there, huh? Just watching over our little valley? Somehow it's not reassuring. We need an expanded farm. You didn't want me working out here. I say, well, screws ya. So here's how we're going to do it this time around. We're going to be a bit more efficient. There we go. Look at you framed up over there. Just commenting so that I can use that cool image. I don't think I have ever tilled this much soil before. As soon as I said it was like you didn't want your name to be known, you couldn't stop shouting it at me. Were you maybe worried about being forgotten? Now this is looking more like a farm. We just kind of have to wait for some more of these potatoes to grow in. But the other half is wheat, which we can use to get more cows. I think we are actually kind of good on food now, instead of just kind of scrounging along on what little we need. We've created about 8 new cows since those things killed a bunch, and I feel like our population still hasn't fully rebounded yet. That was an absolutely devastating bit of cattle rustlery. You know, if we do look at the multiplayer screen, it says Circuit does not approve and that little angry face. Which sort of makes me think, is Circuit maybe like an admin? Like, maybe for the server that hosted them? Just a little bit of wild speculation. It feels cursed to sleep in here. To even try, really. But of course I should have known that freezing time wouldn't be undone even in this state. It's almost like Null said, here, let's compromise. Hello, look at this. No, please don't be mad. There's a book and quill. It's embedded in the structure. Why are you still there? Is something you are looking for? Is something you are looking for? Words of wisdom. You left a whole bunch of redstone and glowstone. Huh. You've been trying to speak with me all this time, and I just haven't listened. And I've just spotted another of those blocks in the air above the house. Or is it one of those? I would have to assume it is, right? Or is it just water? Here's another tree that's gotten that treatment. You know, the whole disappearing and not coming back treatment. It is, it's just water floating in the sky. What I've realized is that over time, this kind of becomes less a horror mod for Minecraft, and more a horror mod about Minecraft. I mean, it's so full of nostalgia. It's so full of feelings that I think just about every player who was here near the beginning can relate to. And it's something that I imagine lingers, even if you are a newer player. I'm just breaking all the bones. Which is oddly enough not the intention right now. There you go. I think I have rediscovered my ability to do this. Right now I'm just trying to sort of find my way back. I need to make sure that there's a torch trail I can follow. I haven't heard this soundtrack before. It simultaneously does and doesn't sound like it belongs here. But unfortunately, I was so low on resources before, my torch trail is pretty sparse. Here we are. This marks basically the halfway point, because that's the midway portal. So we've still got a long way to go from here. Foreboding soundtrack we've got here. It feels like something's coming. Like something's looking for me out here. Oh my god. I do wonder if there's like nether-specific music. I honestly, I play with it off so often that I have no idea. But this can only be ours. Remember from the fog? Remember the trans-nether rail system? There it is. There we are. Meaning we have made it. Hey guys, I am back. So I've got good news and bad news regarding the day-night cycle. The question now is going to be, how do you feel about the day-night cycle? Will you awaken? First, you'd have to be here. I mean, if you're not awake, you can't be mad that I'm stealing your potatoes, right? I don't see anybody around. I think they're still asleep. They are. It's still night as far as they're concerned. On the bright side, property in town has never been hotter, and all my stuff is still back here. So we do at least have a good base to start from. Whoa! Whoa! I just got absolutely launched on that jump. Okay, so the good news is that trees do appear to be growing in this climate, which is great because I need them. As soon as you start building with the base trunks, it gets really, really expensive. Wow, you are actually in really rough shape. You look like you could use some repairs, and you pretty much single-handedly took on that whole mob assault, so I guess I kind of feel like I owe you one. Let's see, do we have any iron to give you? Some. And we can replenish our losses easily. Here. Only fair. You placed that right here on my new construction. It's one of those hello blocks like from before. That's really inconvenient because what you produce, I will be inclined to keep. So what happens when I break you is in many ways going to determine how I proceed with this construction. You're not even giving me the opportunity. Okay. I guess that's just how it's gonna have to be then. Here. You just become part of the architecture now. Go Gadget interior design. Try and glitch up my world. I don't suppose there's anything we can do to be rid of you? Not at all, and you really don't like it when I try. The heart beating like it is your heart. Last time you only used it to say hello. I wonder if that's a random outcome? Maybe it's because we're suppressing you with all these blocks around you? Or maybe that one that was left there on that world was specific to us. Anyways, I'm sure it could use some refinement, but this house is functional and complete for now. And we have a home away from home. Honestly, it definitely feels like home now that it's been touched in this way. We've got a piece of what's going on that can never leave. No matter how hard we try, and I'm wondering how hard I should be trying, to be honest. Something trips. That's the sound for when you join? That's what it classifies that as? You wanna know what I think I hate the most about this time of day in particular? And being locked here, it's that you always feel like you're waiting for something. There's a constant sense of anticipation that you never get any relief from. It's just always almost night or almost day. So that wasn't here before, was it? And that is now gone. Right beside my bed. I don't know why I keep going to bed just thinking that sooner or later that sky is going to start moving, but it never ever does. Alright, well, I guess that makes construction here a little bit easier. But I'm not going to take that redstone torch. Since we know now that there is a ground, what happens if we break out of here right beside the portal out? It seems to only be through those doors. What is that over there? Those look like some mighty straight lines. Oh, something weird is going on here. Unless I'm just desperate for patterns. It actually sort of reminded me of the lines of a nether fortress at first. What was that? Is the sun a bit higher, or is that just the angle? No, you're both where you were. It's just a matter of perspective. Hi, skeleton. Now with another backup, I have to save and back out of this game pretty frequently. I'm just thinking, like, we need to find different things to put into chat, different pieces of the lore that we can put together. We've had a lot of success with that so far, but what if we try things like the other entities we've encountered? Things like R2. No reaction to that one. What about my own name? Not that either. Here's that "Can you help us" sign. I wonder if anything can be found immediately around it. Was removing it not a good idea? Here, maybe we can put it over here. Oh, it's not regular stone. That actually seems to be like sand or clay or something. Actually, what even is this? Light gray concrete powder. The wooden structure near me had a chest hidden in it. Could there be one here? If we're gonna find something, we need to look at the joints, do we not? Of course, this probably counts as destruction. I swear I just heard something. Why are you still there? Is something you are looking for? Same as before. I'll be honest, I'm kind of considering just starting a new world from scratch at this point. I mean, I'm doing so much waiting around, I can't even be sure something isn't broken. Although new stuff is spawning in a minor way, because now we have 2 of these lava pits where previously there was only 1. I figured the only way to truly test out if something wasn't working would be to have a parallel world. So we're starting from scratch, which absolutely sucks given how much time we've invested. But for now, this is free of null. No VHS, no game crashes, no banning. That's all. For now, we're free. Well, we're off to a great start. What a weird image that is. The absolute wall of a mountain, dotted with big trees and oddly just as big mushrooms. Lots of rivers. This is a good start. I just noticed we see a specific sound in the subtitles when that happens. Integrity something. Now, we're so early on, Null hasn't even joined yet. But I wonder if anything would happen if we were to ask about integrity. I mean, that should transcend Null, right? Null doesn't need to be here to reply. And there's our boy Null. Or Ram to die. Of course, now we know that he's always here, even before the official entrance. Deepest river I've ever seen. You know what? There's a ton of coal here. It's right between rivers. I think right up here. Over there would be a perfect place. I don't think I've ever put this much thought into like house design before. It's always been the first night I just build a cube. But something about this series, even when it's more frantic, has made it so that I just can't do that. That first night where even a door is a considerable luxury. But at least things line up so that it can be sort of sunken and still be cool. Do you know how refreshing and strange it is to see the stars in the sky actually moving? There we go. I'd say that's a pretty good starting base. We've got plenty of room, places to expand, and a decent amount of style as well. The broken script integrity curious. The thing is, the longer this goes on, the more we're able to look back and kind of re-examine things that have happened to us. Now with the understanding of at least a little bit of what's happening. Oh my god! Okay, that was way more terrifying than the first time. I need to find someplace I can place a torch. It's like there's a wall, a different type of block in the air. One that I can't place anything in. New type of recipe. What? I got bamboo? This goes all the way up to the surface. It must have fallen from there. Okay, weirdness is starting early on this save. I didn't expect to see this creeping back through the jungle. Something about coming upon that at night makes it feel like something out of Apocalypse Now. Hi, kitty. Look, it appeared... It actually seems to be right above the chunk error. Alright, well, joke's on you. You're gonna help me start my wheat farm. You guys are starting to show up. But man, it is proving tougher and tougher to find anything on this world. It's weird seeing new cave biomes spawning, but very much in the old cave gen. Like everything is as tight and narrow, and yet it's got these new blocks. Seems like Null only has it out for the cobbled deep slate. One thing I will say is that I am finding an awful lot of gold. Die, please, thank you. Oh my god, there's so much. Oh, get buried, bud! Choosing sides. Wow, that is quite a nice little axolotl pond you've got down there. We have reached bedrock on this world, found some diamonds, and now it makes me wonder in this mud if there is actually a way to get below the bedrock. It's like I said in the last part, at this point, we're knocking on its door. Integrity. If we just keep going, it is actually exactly as permeable as in the Null world. But sooner or later, it does have to stop. Wow, I actually found a lot of diamonds. Huh. Interesting place to come out. Do I have any water on me? I don't. Don't. Going in. What's kind of funny is that the whole point of this new world was that I would just kind of play Minecraft on it and wait for things to come to me. It's a very reactive mod rather than a proactive one. So during this time, I'm just kind of playing Minecraft and, well, you just never forget the joy of diamonds. Minecraft Music Disc 11 has been added to my inventory at some point, totally unbeknownst to me. On the other save, that had to happen as a result of sleeping and crashing. No such thing here. No wonder people have always gotten the impression this game is haunted. In a way, it's almost like creating your own liminal spaces. Like this world seems natural until you make it unnatural. The player is the aberration. I mean, over and over we create these irregularities in the earth, on the landscape. And we act like the game is so cursed when it does the same to us. Something weird just happened with my field of view. Huh. It must have realized I was thirsty, or I don't know, maybe thought that I should get more attention to that leaky ceiling? Don't worry, I'm making more stairs as we speak. It's starting to be more brazen in this world, do things right around me. There, now we're double roofed. No more need for aggressive leaks to remind me of the problem, right? Who am I kidding? At this point, kinda almost feel like going on the offensive. It started. Your changes to my world have started. We're gonna have to be a lot more careful. Well, at least you have the decency to mark these things with what are basically highly aggressive traffic cones. Parrot? Well, you know what? Why did I say anything? Why did I say anything? Because now you've just started not marking them. You're becoming more dangerous. Oh, never mind. No, you did. You did, just up here. Oh God, I hadn't even considered that. Down in the caves... Oh no, I just realized that. If we were to intersect one of those tunnels in a tunnel, there would be nothing to indicate it because it'll be way down below. Sorry, Ocelot, I'm just gonna steal your kill there. I am in search of eggs. Oh hey, we've come upon this again. Must be bees somewhere. Bee leaves hive over and over. That's what it's repeating. It's like they're trying to leave but can't. It suppresses certain types of NPC. Although it doesn't seem to stop these ocelots and parrots. I'm not sure how long they've been in the game. OpenGL error 1282, invalid operation. OpenGL error 0, here I am. Now, as far as I'm aware, OpenGL is related to the graphics, right? And so, it's almost like it kept trying to portray something that it couldn't. Whether or not we were actually around to see it. Okay, this new world is working. We're starting to see things that we didn't before. We've seen what happens when we play nice. What about when we don't? What about when we fight back? I talked earlier about how this game has a reputation system, how it doesn't like being griefed. So, what if we do just that? Tear it down to the last block. There, an accursed structure, removed in its entirety. We haven't really done very much of that, but there we are. Something else I'm wondering, what happens if we sling your favorite words right back at you? Doesn't seem to have done anything, but it certainly has gone uncomfortably silent. Not even anything in the subtitles. We got pretty far on that world, but I'm sick of this. No more waiting for you to come to me. It's good to have the other one as a control. We can see some new things, even see things unfold in a way that maybe is less bugged than when the bugs have bugs. But no. We spent the entire time at Good Reputation. You said that that was interesting to see because most YouTubers, well, they did it more like this. Well, I haven't seen this. Let's start griefing what you seem to think is your world. There's another of those blocks in the sky. My conservation-minded self hates to do this to a world, but I've got to find out. Can we spur you into action? Dismantle it all. That's the only thing I can think of. We need to get some kind of reaction out of you. Thing about a broken script, it's hard to tell when things are broken. So maybe if I do the breaking, we can get you to come out and say something? At least open your front door and shake your fist. We'll try sleeping in here first. Got it all? Take your coal. Take your coal. Up it goes. No chance you're gonna be happy with that one. But every once in a while, we just have to be proactive. I think it's the one thing I've been really neglecting for this entire time, and after such an absurd number of hours, look, you probably noticed that this one has taken a lot longer to come out. I've been playing it this entire time. At a certain point, things have just stopped. That's why I was so desperate as to start a new world, so desperate as to start tearing everything down. When I had previously seen myself as an observer, somebody to sit here and watch what you do, at a certain point, that just doesn't work anymore. Of course, the cross, the one thing built out of material to burn, is what remains. Let's not even allow the pretense that you're a portal that appeared in my world. Are we starting to hear from you? This is the same stuff as usual. I was gonna say, let's excise you from your shell. I don't believe we touched that. That's your house and it's gone. Once again, I don't know if it'll actually count that as being destroyed, unless it's all gone. Let's hang back from a distance and continue to cut you out of your wall. Not even hit you with the pick. You're now completely free-floating, detached from anything else. Nothing beneath you either. If I were to do something like toss dirt at you, it would go right through. Trapped chest. Where did I get a trapped chest from? Unless I just pulled it from somewhere and didn't realize. Okay, let's do some EOD. Place this here. What was the trap? You can see there's a bit of a red line on the end there. Oh, maybe it maybe the idea is that it gives off a redstone signal? I may have avoided doom by picking that up somewhere. Destruction, free torches, just destroying literally everything. That sound lingered for an uncomfortably long time. Did it? I'm gonna have to check back and see if it actually showed up in the subtitles. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But I think we're starting to get our reaction. That wasn't just moving my view, that was a teleport. Right, let's get ourselves some redstone. All gone. And that was one of the more intriguing buildings. This door has just kind of remained on fire for a long time. Go away. Everything's got to be totally destroyed. Let's figure out where this will do the most damage. Right here. And right here seem like good bets. Oop! Fire in the hole. Well, my escape plans were kind of messed up. You want to build stuff? I can build stuff too. And I need to destroy yours. Oh, wait! Hey, that's 2 events in less than 45 minutes, and certainly aggressive. Actually, it's starting to feel a lot more like the beginning of the game. At this rate, is it possible we might even unblock this time? I'm basically trying to goad you into setting things right. At least partly. Of course, that's kind of a monkey's paw wish. Just for laughs, what if we try to do this? Would you be, like, offended by the suggestion? That actually did get a response. I mean, sort of. It seems like you tried to respond. Whether it did anything is another story altogether. Is that a zombie? I guess we'll never know. Things disappearing when I try to get close are actually not uncommon to this, and honestly, it's hard to tell. I feel like this is worth mentioning given the meta nature of all this, but it seems like in the first and second parts of this, a lot of you were getting a bug where the volume slider on YouTube would display simply null. Now, on its own, that doesn't really mean anything, and in fact, it probably still means nothing, but it's kind of strange that on those videos in particular, a lot of people seem to be having this problem. Because I haven't heard about it in any other video. Something I can't believe I haven't checked is, can the villagers be woken? They can. Of course, you'll immediately want to get back into bed. We may have affected what will actually happen to us, but it still seems like things are moving at an absolutely glacial pace. We're having random things happen to us, but nothing big, nothing that teaches us more. If anything, the only thing that's taught us anything is exploration of the world they played on. I'm starting to wonder, would things maybe happen differently? Would we get different events if we were just to spend more time here? I don't know, maybe part of me just loves seeing daylight now. Look at those torches. Were those there before? I honestly don't remember, but it's like there's a trail leading across the bridge. Irregular, too. Like, not like they're intentional lighting, but like someone was running and frantically placing them down. Did I see that before and just not comment on it, or was it really not there? Either way, it's definitely a weird thing. Now, this is version 1.9.3. We are now spread across 3 worlds trying to dissect this, and I think in the next part, we're going to spread across versions. I'm not sure if installing different versions of this mod will actually cause it to screw up and reset the data, but here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to try an earlier version, maybe a later version, and we're going to see what happens. We are also going to dig even deeper into this one. In fact, I think I may even try staying here long term. This is clearly very special to them, and what started out as simply a creepy mod, another haunting, has turned into something so much more. Just as our world is in stasis, so too is theirs. So too are they. And something I've been thinking about... Thank you, Dramatic Rain. Something I've been thinking about. We're seeing the skies darken for the first time, even if it is just because of the rain. But look, we've seen them respond to the names of those who were here, or at least some of them. They hate mention of their own name, and they blame Circuit. They know that integrity is something that lives below the bedrock, which would mean that it's something intrinsic to the game, something that is in everyone's world. So what does this mean? It's almost like this null is a living museum, a living gravestone, you could say, for this world, for these people. They were friends with them. They left for a year, seemingly had no contact in that time. Everyone was very excited to have them back. Well, what if it wasn't really them? I mean, they insisted on going by a new name, but this entity, it always goes by Null. The way we move things forward is by exploring their story, not just what's happening to us. But all that will have to wait until next time. Until then, if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this mod out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I'll see you in the next one, where we will surely reap the consequences of what we've been doing here. Look, I'm just going to talk about this a little bit more. They hid those signs. They were placed there for us to find, behind Diamond. Now, those who played on the server, those who knew about this chunk error, they would have considered it explored and done with. They would have no reason to go in there. But someone, presumably Null, hid what they believed about these entities, I guess, behind Diamond, where they knew that an interloper, where someone else would check. That is something to think about. Whoa, whoa! It's starting here. It's starting here. It's dripping down from the ceiling of their base. Okay, let's see where this goes.